Time and temperature sponsored by Wilmington University. Experience the WilMU difference. From the Eyewitness News Weather Center, this is a CBS3 Storm Watch update.
Well, it's been 654 days now, significant snow in the city of Philadelphia, but here it comes. The first time we've seen this in quite some time. The snow coming down already pretty fast and furious in the city of Philadelphia. The flakes are flying and it is already starting to accumulate on those grassy surfaces. Take a look at Storm Scan 3, where you can see the snow and rain has really started to pick up in intensity. Came in about an hour ago, generally light, and now it is starting to come down more heavily, and there is that rain snow line. We've talked a lot about the rain snow line in the past few days, and here it is setting up over Camden and Gloucester County, Salem County, and southern Newcastle County. North of that, it is all snow for now. South of there, it is mainly rain. There's not much mixing or sleet happening just yet. It's basically either rain or snow, and in the city of Philadelphia, it is snow, and it's coming down at a pretty good clip. You can see why. Temperatures are below freezing, but as these temps start to rise, we may start to see some mixing settle in throughout the next several hours in the city. Look how cold it is to the north and west, though. It's 24 in Allentown, 25 in Reading, and 28 in Lancaster. That is where it's going to stay snow for the majority of this storm system. So future weather showing still all snow for most of the area at 3 p.m. We start to see the possibility for some mixing as we get into the later evening hours. I think this particular model is a little bit too far north with it, given that the temperatures are still in the 20s in that area. Rain, snow mix around the city by late tonight, and then we'll have a period likely of heavy sleet in the city, mainly snow still far north and west. This will continue into early Thursday morning and then make its exit by about 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow. So once again, our snowfall potential, Philadelphia in that zone of uncertainty, so to speak. That's the area we're really going to be zooming in on, because there will be a very, very tight gradient between a spot that gets maybe 8 or 9 inches of snow and a spot that gets maybe an inch of snow in Philadelphia, right in that middle zone. I still think if it's snowing at the clip it is now, we could be good for at least 5 or 6 inches, possibly with a period of heavy sleet that'll kind of compact that snow overnight. The heaviest totals once again in those far north and west suburbs, a narrow band of 12 to 18 around the Lehigh Valley, 18 to 24 up across the Pocono region and north central Pennsylvania. So a winter storm warning is already in effect. That goes until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning for all areas shaded in pink, including the city of Philadelphia and points north and west. We also have a winter weather advisory for those surrounding counties in South Jersey and Delaware, where snow amounts will be a little bit lower, but you'll still get the sleet, the wind, the rain, and likely some snow as well. So what to plan for, regardless of how much snow you get in your neighborhood. Power outages are likely, hazardous travel. It's already starting to get kind of slick out there. Even though the snow's not really sticking to the roads yet, it is already sticking on the grass. Visibility is low. Sidewalks and roads will be icy as temperatures plummet behind this storm. Bitter cold, which will stick around right through the end of the week. So we've got a long evening and night ahead of us. We will be with you through it all. Myself and meteorologist Matt Peterson will have full coverage of this winter storm on Eyewitness News here at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock tonight. Stay safe and stay with us. We'll keep you posted. Back to your regularly scheduled broadcast.
This has been a CBS3 Storm Watch update. From the Eyewitness News Weather Center, this is a CBS3 Storm Watch update.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Kate Bilo, and if you've looked, you already know what I'm about to tell you. It is snowing, and it's coming down very heavily in parts of the region. I was just out on the sky deck measuring almost an inch already here in Philadelphia, and as we know, it has been over 650 days since we've even gotten 1 inch of snow in Philadelphia. That record will not be achieved. 8 days away from the longest snow drought in history. We're not going to get there because the snow is falling, and it's falling heavily right now. Now, we always thought this would be the case. Snow at the onset, and then as the storm moves off coast, as it shifts its energy out to sea, we'll start to see some warmer air working its way in, and we'll start to watch that rain snow line shift a little bit further to the north and west through the course of the evening and tonight. But for now, we're going to be getting some of the heaviest snow we will see over the next 4 or 5 hours. And you can see this banding as the precipitation intensity increases. The brighter blue colors there near the city, near Wilmington, even in the South Jersey suburbs, that's an indication that snow may be falling at the rate of around an inch an hour, possibly possibly even higher amounts. So if you get that for 4 or 5 hours, you're going to get your 4 or 5 inches of snow. It may be compacted a bit if it changes over to sleet and rain. But for right now, we've got heavy snow falling in eastern Maryland, Newcastle County, Delaware, right up the I-95 corridor, portions of Salem, Cumberland, and Gloucester and Camden counties as well. And then it's heavy rain as you head through much of Cumberland County and toward the shore. Light snow right now in the north and west suburbs. But some of the heaviest is actually falling throughout the Philly suburbs. Look at Chester County getting hit pretty hard as you're traveling down the Blue Route. Delaware County, I should say, right here, Marple, Newtown, right on down toward the Chester area. A band of heavy snow, and Chester County beyond that also seeing some pretty steady snow. And temps are below freezing from Philadelphia on north. Very cold in the north and west suburbs, 20s in Allentown and Reading, Lancaster as well. So those are the areas that are likely to stay snow for, if not the duration of the storm, then at least for the majority of the storm, the areas that will end up seeing the most snow. So heavy snow right now along I-95 as we head towards 6 o'clock. You can see that rain snow line starts to sneak a little bit further to the north near Wilmington. As we head towards 7 or 8 o'clock, a little bit of a better chance for some sleet to work in around the city. But again, it is still snowing and snowing heavily in the north and west suburbs. There may be a little mixing that tries to get in there late tonight, but by then much of the damage will have been done. Here's the mix potential in Philadelphia right around midnight, and then it's looking very likely that this will go back to snow, at least for the city and possibly South Jersey as well by early tomorrow morning. Still likely just rain down the shore and in interior South Jersey and Delaware. It should end by mid-morning tomorrow. So once again, our snow map has just shifted a tiny little bit. I do think that we are on the edge. I said it the other day that the over-under in Philadelphia, I said it right at 6 inches. I'm still sticking with that. I think 6 inches will likely be a good call for Philadelphia. If it rains and sleets on top of that, it may not look like 6 inches, but we're right on the dividing line. 6 to 12 in the northwest suburbs nearby, 12 to 18 in the Lehigh Valley, then 18 to 24 in the Poconos. And we're looking at nothing but rain across most of South Jersey and Delaware, excluding the nearby New Jersey suburbs. We'll have much more on this storm as the afternoon and evening continues. We've got many hours to go. I hope you'll stay with us. We now return you to your regularly scheduled broadcast.
This has been a CBS3 Storm Watch Update. Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Philadelphia. This is CBS3 Eyewitness News at 4.
It is Wednesday, December 16th. Welcome to CBS3 at 4, now streaming live on CBSN Philly. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jessica Cartalia. Yuki has the day off. The storm our weather team has been telling us about is here. Snow is falling and already on the ground in Paoli, Chester County, as you can see, causing slow traffic in some places, and it's only going to get worse as the storm rolls on. CBS3 cameras in Collingswood, New Jersey, where snow was falling. People were bundled up. A state of emergency is in effect in the Garden State because of this storm. More on that from Governor Phil Murphy in just a moment. Streets and highways could get a little dicey this evening and through tomorrow morning with the snow and potential changeover to ice or rain. The CBS3 mobile weather watcher is out and about driving on Route 663 in Quakertown, Bucks County. A little snowy there. Bucks could get hit hard by the storm, but fortunately it looks like people are staying off the roads. We have live Team 3 coverage with reporters all over our region. We will get to all of them shortly, but let's start with meteorologist Kate Bilo and her latest forecast. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jessica. I hate to come to me when everybody's out there freezing and getting snowed on, and we're here in the warm studio, but it is finally snowing, and I know a lot of people, including myself, are probably pretty excited to see this. We haven't seen this in a while. 654 days. We are 8 days shy of the snow drought record in Philadelphia, but we're not going to hit it because it is snowing and it's coming down like crazy outside right now. Near whiteout conditions. This is outside of our window here at the CBS studios, looking toward the skyline. You can't really see the buildings out there. It is coming down heavily right now in Philadelphia. And no matter what you're getting, rain, snow, or a mix of the two, it is coming down in droves right now. We are waiting for our center of circulation to move off the coast, and then this thing will strengthen even more. There are some things to look out for. You can see a little bit of a dry slot starting to work its way into portions of Virginia and West Virginia. We'll have to keep an eye on that. And of course, as we've been talking about for days, have to keep an eye on that mix line. We have seen this change over to rain already in Baltimore. You can see the rain just creeping up into portions of eastern Maryland, rain into portions of southern Newcastle County now. But look at how heavily it is falling. This bright blue is heavy snow right along the I-95 corridor from Philadelphia down toward Wilmington. You can see where the rain snow line is right now, and it's a pretty sharp cutoff. You go up toward Alloway, snowing heavily. You drive on Route 40 right into portions of Atlantic and Cumberland counties, and it's heavy pouring rain. And for most spots in South Jersey, as you head down to the shore points, at least, it is going to stay rain. Take a look at some of these numbers so far. Newfield, New Jersey has already picked up 2.7 inches of snow. Landenberg, PA, 2.5. Ashton Township, 2.3. Here at the Broadcast Center, we've got an inch. I measured it myself on the sky deck and at the Philadelphia airport. So far, a trace, but they only report every several hours, so we'll see when the next one comes in. Once we get that inch, the snow drought is officially over. Temperatures right now, this is the key. There is not a ton of fresh, cold Arctic air. We're not in the teens and 20s. We're right around freezing around I-95. Above freezing down across most of in South Jersey and Delaware. That means it's just rain there. As we go through tonight, we'll start to see some of that warmer air start to work its way in, and it's going to be a bit of a fight. But these areas to the north and west that stay snow all through the night and into tomorrow morning, these are the areas that will end up with likely over a foot of snow, possibly near 2 feet in the highest elevations of the Poconos. And again, I put the over-under in Philadelphia at about 6 inches. I still like that number in Philadelphia. North and west, it's 6 to 12. South and east, it's 3 to 6. And then just plain old rain down across much of New Jersey and Delaware. Coming up, we'll talk about when the changeover happens, and meteorologist Matt Peterson will talk about whether we could see or hear some thunder snow tonight. For now, Jessica, back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. As Kate just mentioned, some of the biggest snow totals are expected in the western suburbs. Joe Holden is in Paoli with a look at conditions there right now. It's coming down, Joe.
Yeah, Jessica, I'm here with my buddy Will Kenworthy behind the camera. We are at Paoli Pike and Route 30. PennDOT plows just came by in both directions, so this is an improvement. Before the last half hour, the snow is coming down, as you mentioned, steadily. I'd estimate from just my eyeballs that we have maybe 3 to 4 inches of snow that have fallen here so far. Now, earlier on this Wednesday, we caught up with some folks out and about. The first guy we ran into, well, he's with a landscaping company, Flowers and More out of Westchester. Yeah, More standing for the fact they do the plowing and they do the spreading of salt. They are happy to see this business because it has been a solid 2 years since they've seen anything like this. So this is money in their pockets as they tend to the parking lots and the sidewalks of businesses across Chester County that are dealing with the snow. We've also seen people making last-minute shopping trips and lots of folks sort of steadily anticipating what this storm would bring. It is here right now, as you can see, and it is coming down pretty good. Let's talk to the man behind the salt spreader for his take on today.
The game plan is to wait for it to accumulate a little bit, because right now if we start plowing, we're not really picking up much. So we're just going to salt, wait for the people to get out of work, and then come back and just stay on top of it during the night.
When are you going to get home?
Yeah, maybe 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning.
A long run.
Yeah, 18 hours. It's good though.
Hey, we're back live here. Long days, long hours, good money though, they say. And as we are sizing up the conditions on Lancaster Avenue here, Route 30, again, it just got hit by the PennDOT plow train, one in one direction, one in the other direction. So this is faring well. But you take a look at the Wawa parking lot over here. A couple of work trucks not too long ago couldn't get out of this parking lot because just the steep upgrade here, they're fishtailing now, they're rear wheel drive, but they were telling me absolutely now they were calling it a day because the storm kind of snuck up on them. Live in Paoli, Joe Holden, CBS3 Eyewitness News.
Smart. If you don't have to go anywhere, don't. Joe, thanks so much. The snow is piling up in Montgomery County. Plow truck drivers are getting to work there. Natasha Brown at King of Prussia, where road conditions are pretty dicey out there. Hi, Natasha.
Yeah, we can certainly tell you, hi there, Jessica, that they are dicey here and getting dicier by the minute. We are here at the King of Prussia Service Center right off the Pennsylvania Turnpike. You can see cars here slowly getting by on the Turnpike. We have just kind of been watching this play out throughout the last couple of hours or so as Cars are just trying to navigate these snow-covered roadways. PennDOT is urging drivers at this point to limit travel during this storm, ultimately saying stay at home and stay off the roads if at all possible. They're advising motorists to avoid all unnecessary travel during the storm, and they're also phasing in vehicle restrictions at this point. They've done that starting at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Again, another phase happened at 3:30. This is a restriction on trucks and other vehicles on certain roadways around the state. PennDOT began brining the roads yesterday. It's all hands on deck right now. More than 400 trucks out there clearing a path for drivers, even though drivers say it's still pretty tricky to get around.
It's a little crazy out there. Everybody's driving safe for the most part, but don't speed.
Yeah.
Real icy out there.
So is it touch and go? What have you been doing to kind of, get to navigate your way?
Just rolling with the traffic, trying to stay distance, because they braking quick. So all you can do is be safe out there.
Yeah. So did you expect this though? They've been talking about it, but did you expect that you would have to deal with this?
I thought it was going to come a little earlier, so I'll be home. They be done called me like, don't come out, but it came a little late, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, again, that gentleman was heading to Downingtown. He had to go to work. That is the absolute only reason he says he's even out here in this storm right now. And that is what PennDOT and Pennsylvania Turnpike officials are telling folks. If you don't have to be out, then don't be out, because it's certainly dicey out there, and it's certainly icy out there, according to some of the drivers that we've talked to. Now, again, speed restrictions are already in effect here. It's 45 miles an hour, no more. That is the safest speed when travel restrictions go into place, and that's exactly the way it is and will be throughout the night. That's the very latest here in King of Prussia. Natasha Brown, CBS3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Natasha, thank you. A state of emergency went into effect in New Jersey at 2 o'clock. Governor Murphy is urging people to avoid travel if possible, but he did have a request for those who are out in the storm.
If you are on the road after the storm conditions have begun, we urge you to please take it slow and use common sense and caution. We ask specifically that you stay clear of any plowing or spreading operations. Do not try to pass them. And if they are behind you, please let them pass so they can treat the roadway ahead of you.
New Jersey officials are also concerned about high winds tonight and the potential for power outages. Conditions are also deteriorating in Bucks County as people slowly navigate the roads there. Alicia Roberts is on Street Road in Bensalem. Alicia, how are things looking where you are?
Well, the snow continues to fall here, Jessica, and it's also the wind that we're dealing with. Pretty strong gust of winds here in Bensalem. I want you to take a look behind my shoulder. We've got the plow trucks mobilized. Now, just about 1 o'clock or so today, those trucks were full of salt. They've already done a run down here on Street Road in the Bucks County area. I'm talking to Rich, one of the plow drivers here. Long day ahead of you for my friend.
Oh yeah, we'll go easy 12 hours, maybe even 14 hours. Depends on the weather and stuff. If it changes over to rain, who knows what's going to happen then.
But you guys are ready. So you guys are in charge of plowing Street Road. How late do you expect to be here tonight?
Probably till about 2 o'clock, from what I've been hearing. So it'll be a long day.
All right,
long
Rich,
night.
You take care. He got some soup and some chips from Wawa as well. Pico Cruz as well. Here in Bucks County, it's less than an inch so far. It's the wind that's a concern as well. The roads that are cleared are going to have to deal with that wind gust and the snow blowing. So conditions not ideal here. Definitely want to stay off the roads because it's going to get worse before it gets better. We'll be out here all night long. For now, that is the scene here along Street Road in Bensalem. Jessica, back to you.
And we certainly appreciate the work they're doing. Alicia, thanks so much. Well, as you've heard and can most likely see out your window, a winter storm is really bearing down on our region. Let's get a look at the forecast with meteorologist Kate Bilo. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jessica. Yeah, the weather outside is frightful tonight as we here a week before Christmas. It is not even yet winter, but we are certainly looking like it is definitely coming down across the region. Now, this is Bethlehem. Bethlehem has not even started seeing the heaviest snow that you will see through the rest of tonight. It's only started coming down relatively lightly there, but you can already see Main Street in Bethlehem completely covered in snow. You have people out here working hard, trying to shovel and treat the sidewalks to keep everything safe. Cars are going very, very slowly along Main Street. Hopefully everyone can get home, get to where they need to be, and stay stay put for the night into tomorrow morning because this storm is just starting. It's just in the early stages of ramping up right now. We still have to wait for the center of circulation to transfer the energy to the coast, and that's when this thing really starts howling later on this evening. The winds will pick up and a high wind warning will be in effect down the shore, which we'll talk about as well. As we zoom in right now, you can see as we go up to the north and west suburbs, it's snowing for sure, but it's not coming down as heavily as it is right along the I-95 corridor. This is where the heaviest precipitation is coming down. And here's the good news. If you love snow, it is cold enough, and this storm is kind of creating its own cold air as the snow falls, that it is staying all snow, at least for now. So Philadelphia right now getting slammed with heavy snowfall. Delaware County as well, the Blue Route, the Schuylkill Expressway, I-95, it is coming down at very, very heavy rates, likely over an inch per hour. So this is piling up quickly. As we head south, you can see the rain snow line. It is actually starting to go back and forth a little bit. We're starting to see some cold work its way in. It changes back to snow, changes back to rain, and that fight zone right now is over Salem County and portions of central and southern Camden and Gloucester County. So let's bring on temperatures with the radar, the future radar, and you can see the fight here between the warmth and the cold. Temperatures in the 20s still at 6:30 p.m. even in Philly. That means it's still snowing and coming down heavily. That's 2 hours from now. We could get another 3-4 inches by then. It'll all pile up quickly, but then once it changes over, this is 11 p.m. likely temperatures by that point will go just above freezing in Philadelphia. So you'll get a period of heavy sleet. Sleet is measurable precipitation. It may change over to a brief period of rain. So what that'll do is kind of make a little bit of a mess of things, compacting the snow a bit. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, it may not look like as much as what it did when you went to sleep the night before. Then by 3:30 a.m., cold air wraps in and it will likely change back to snow. So once again, here's our snowfall map. We're looking at 18 to 24 inches in the Poconos, 6 to 12 just north and west of the city. We're right on the dividing line here in Philadelphia. I think it's a plus or minus 6 inches either way. Could easily go either direction depending on the time of the changeover. But suffice it to say, anyone in that winter storm warning is getting and will continue to get significant snowfall. And we talked about those heavy snowfall rates. Meteorologist Matt Peterson joins me now from home to talk about another phenomenon that we may see this evening. Hi, Matt.
Yeah, hey there, Kate. Like you said, we are dealing with our first really massive snow system in quite some time. We're going to be having those heavy snow bands come through. Some of them are already working their way through parts of southeastern Pennsylvania. And as they do, we're going to get a phenomenon that we call thunder snow, or it could be even thunder sleet with this particular system as that warm air works its way in. Kate was just talking about that intrusion of that mid-level warm air as we go through the evening and the nighttime hours tonight. Now, with that instability, or what I should say is as that warm air moves its way in, we're going to start to create a little bit of mid-level instability that you typically would see in a thunderstorm. That's going to allow our snow rates or our sleet rates to get up to maybe 2 inches per hour. And with that instability, as we get that movement in the atmosphere, not only is it going to crank up the snow rates, but you could actually even get some thunder and some lightning associated with those heavier bands as we go through this evening and then overnight tonight. The best chance for that is actually going to be in the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos, where we're actually still going to most likely see the heaviest snow. Now, the last time this happened, it actually was 2018. For those of you that remember, March of 2018 was the March of nor'easters. We had 4 of them in basically 4 weeks throughout the month. The last time that we had the thunder snow, it actually came on March 7th of 2018. Kate, now with that system, we had 1 to 3 inches of snow per hour. That was the snow rate, and we ended up with just about 6 inches of snow. So there's a lot of similarities that are going into this storm that we have today compared to that one where the last time we saw thunder snow, Kate, back in March of 2018.
That's such a good point, Matt. And it's also that collar season. March is close to spring. We're still in autumn, so you get that kind of instability. Thanks so much. Should be interesting to see if we get thunder snow. I always thought it would make a great American Gladiator name, Matt. If you ever go on the show, you could be Thunder Snow Peterson.
WWE, baby.
I love it. I love it. Thanks, Matt. Let's talk also about the winds, because this is not just a snowstorm. For some spots in the area, as we've said, interior South Jersey, the shore, Delaware, this is a rainstorm, but it's a wind-driven rainstorm, and winds overnight will gust upwards of 40 miles an hour. Possibly by late tonight into tomorrow morning, we could see gusts at the coast to 60 miles per hour, certainly strong enough to bring down branches, bring down power lines. We also will have coastal flooding impacts down the shore, and then we'll start to push that water away as the wind switches tomorrow morning. But a high wind warning will go into effect at 6 p.m. tonight and will continue until 1 a.m. tomorrow. That's for Cape May County and coastal Ocean and Atlantic counties. So suffice it to say, today, tonight, tomorrow, we're dealing with this winter storm. Tomorrow night, it finally clears on out. Friday is sunny and cold. Saturday starts off bitterly cold at just 18, but then it does moderate a little bit. And I've had some people ask, is the snow going to stick around for Christmas time? Will we have a white Christmas? We'll have to watch. We're back to the 50s next week, so most of it may melt by next Friday. We'll keep you posted. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
For continuing storm watch coverage, download the CBS3 weather app.
Welcome back to CBS 3 at 4. I'm Jessica Cartalia. The winter storm is here, and depending on where you live, you could see a foot or two of snow or just rain. Kate has the forecast shortly, but let's take a live look outside. CBS 3 cameras in Northeast Philly, where salt trucks were poised to head out. PennDOT already brined many highways, so these trucks will plow the snow and then lay down salt. Could get pretty messy out there. CBS 3 mobile weather watchers on the road right now, driving along southbound 309 in Quakertown, Bucks County. The roads are covered in snow there. Bucks County could take a beating from this storm. Kate and our weather team have been watching the storm very closely. So, Kate, what's the latest?
Well, Jessica, I may still have some snowflakes on me. I was just out on the sky deck taking the latest measurement, about 2 inches now here at the broadcast center in Center City. So this snow is piling up very, very quickly. These precipitation rates out of control. In fact, take a look at how bright these colors are, these returns on our radar imagery. As you look at the city of Philadelphia down into Newcastle County, Delaware County, Chester County, right along I-95, that's where the heaviest precipitation is. And here's the thing, because the storm is bringing down so much cold air as the snow falls, we are still seeing snow even in the South Jersey suburbs. It's piling up quickly, though we have had some reports near Gloucester City that it's starting to mix with sleet. So it's going to be a battle back and forth with that rain snow line over the next few hours. Here it is right now, right along Interstate 40, Pittsgrove seeing rain. As you head up toward Pilesgrove, it's snow. Glassboro is snow as well. What to expect as we head through the next several hours? Heavy snow through all of southeastern Pennsylvania, and at least for the next 2 hours or so, I think the heavy snow will continue in those nearby South Jersey communities as well, the South Jersey suburbs of Philadelphia. Overnight, late tonight into the overnight hours, we'll see that mix line lift north as we start to tap into some more of that coastal moisture. So what happens is the center of the low moves out over the Atlantic Ocean, which is relatively warm. It is still autumn after all, and we are going to see those temperatures rise as we start to tap into more of that Atlantic moisture and the warmer temperatures. So the rain snow line will lift up. That's when thunder snow is possible. As the storm deepens or strengthens offshore, you get that instability that Matt was just talking about, most likely in the north and west suburbs when the heaviest snow falls there. Very strong gusty winds will be blowing this snow around. Visibility, I just walked outside, it's near zero in the city. If you can avoid going out on the roads, even in the rain areas, I would highly recommend it. It is heavy precipitation all evening into the overnight hours, whether it's sleet, snow, or rain. It is a mess out there right into tomorrow morning. We just got a few updates as well on snow totals. I want to show you this really quickly. Just got a report from Oxford, Chester County, already 6 inches of snow on the ground. A half a foot's already on the ground. West Philly has 3.5. Gloucester City, 3.3 in Camden County, but they say it's starting to mix with sleet. I just measured 2 at the broadcast center here in Center City. Still just reporting a trace at the airport, but we'll wait for that update. I think it usually comes in around 7 o'clock when they measure next, so we will bring that to you when we have it, and more on the other facets of this system and what to expect behind it coming up in just a bit. For now, Jessica, back over to you.
And stay with Eyewitness News as we track this nor'easter. We'll have continuing coverage through our 6 o'clock news here on CBS 3 and then hourly updates on our streaming service, CBSN Philly. And you can always check the forecast at cbsphilly.com.
All winter long, CBS 3 is here to keep you safe. And always one step ahead of the weather. For up-to-the-minute storm watch coverage where you live, now is the perfect time to download the CBS 3 weather app.
A winter storm warning, winter weather advisory, coastal flood warning, and high wind warning. We've got it all as a powerful nor'easter moves into our area. It's like your Super Bowl, Kate.
Indeed it is. And you know what? We skipped this one last winter, so it's exciting for all the weather geeks out there to be watching this. It's not as exciting if you're out in it. Hopefully everyone can be home and be safe. I'm looking here at our camera at the Free Library of Philadelphia, this Parkway Central branch, Logan Circle here, and you can see some cars stopped on the side of the road. Not sure if there was a little bit of a fender bender there or not. Looks like people are out talking and people slowly moving out around the circle. So it's a slow go outside tonight. That just may be one of our news crews out there enjoying the snow. Hopefully that's all it is. But you can see the roads in Center City covered in snow. Not only the side streets and Logan Circle and the Center City streets, but also the main roads. I'm seeing traffic cameras along some of the bridges and the Schuylkill Expressway looking pretty nasty out there. So again, my advice, if you can stay in, stay in. Only essential personnel, only the frontline workers, healthcare workers, people like that have to get to work should be out on the roads tonight. And that goes for South Jersey too, because it is pouring out there and it's going to be a very slow go even where it's raining. So here's the setup now. Heavy snow is falling right along the I-95 corridor. There's that rain snow line across portions of South Jersey and Delaware. Here are a couple of concerns I have. This dry slot that's setting up here, it may work its way into our region over the next few hours. We'll have to keep an eye on it. It could fill back in, but there could be a little bit of a break in the precipitation totals. We also have this band over the city and nearby suburbs, even South Jersey suburbs, which is overperforming a little bit. So we're seeing numbers already rolling in of 3-4 inches of snow in these South Jersey counties like Camden and Gloucester County. Now, once this does change over to sleet and rain, some of that accumulation will be compacted. It will be washed away. It'll look a little bit messy, but the areas to the north and west here, Montgomery County from the main line right up toward my hometown of Phoenixville, up into the Lehigh Valley, which hasn't even gotten into the heaviest banding yet. This is still just getting started, and a lot more snow will pile up before it's all said and done. So watching that rain snow line, Alloway, kind of the area we've been keeping an eye on. Watch Alloway. That'll be kind of our marker to see if that rain snow line moves a little bit further north. So here are the next few hours. Still heavy snow through at least about 8 o'clock in Philadelphia. Then we start to see the warmer air starting to move in. You can see that brisk wind off the ocean. We do see that change over to some sleet or even possibly some rain. It's just snow in the north and west suburbs, and that's when the heaviest snow falls there late tonight into the early morning hours tomorrow. It will then likely go back over to snow before this comes to an end by 7-8 o'clock. It's just a few lingering flurries or snow showers. So our map has been kind of moving that 6 to 12 zone back and forth a little bit. I think Philadelphia, we will end up with 6 inches or so. It may end up not looking like 6 inches by tomorrow morning, but I think we're good for 6 to 12 in Philadelphia and those nearby suburbs. 12 to 18 up across the Lehigh Valley, and likely some even higher amounts in the highest elevations of the Poconos. 3 to 6 now. We're already seeing those numbers. So some spots here in the South Jersey suburbs could see some overperforming snow totals, but we will eventually see that mix. So in the city of Philadelphia, this is just for the city, through 8 p.m., heavy snowfall rates continue. Between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m. is the best chance to see sleet and rain mix in, and then a likely return to snow between 1 a.m. and 5 a.m. before the storm comes to an end. And the worst of the wind is still to come. Tonight, 8 or 9 o'clock, we start to see the winds really ramp up. That's when we'll get gusts to 50 plus miles an hour down the shore. There is a high wind warning in effect for that area starting at 6 o'clock tonight until 1 o'clock tomorrow. That is the real height of the storm as far as that wind-driven rainstorm down the shore when the energy transfers off the coast. So tomorrow, flurries in the morning, the snow ends, but it's windy and it's bitterly cold. If you can't get outside and play in it this evening, you'll be able to get out tomorrow and also Friday. Any snow you get will likely stick around, especially if you're to the north and west where some more falls. Saturday, still bitterly cold, but you can probably still go sledding on Saturday. Then we're back to the 40s and we may start to see a meltdown happen as we get into next week. The question is, will we still have snow on the ground for Christmas? It's been a long time since we've had a white Christmas around here. I'll have to look into the date, Jessica, but that's something we'll be keeping our eye on next week. We'll send it back to you.
All right. That'd be really nice, Kate. Thank you. Well, that's Eyewitness News at 4. Eyewitness News at 5 starts right now. A state of emergency is already in effect in New Jersey. CBS3 cameras in Swedesboro, Gloucester County, where people had to clear off cars and bundle up. What Garden State residents can expect tonight. That's coming up. And the CBS3 mobile weather watcher is live on Route 309 southbound in Souderton, Montgomery County. As you can see, the road conditions are deteriorating. It could get even more dangerous as the night goes on, and most officials again saying you need to stay home if you can. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Cartalia. Yuki is off tonight. It is the first winter storm this area has seen in a long time, and for some of us, it's a doozy. We have live Team 3 coverage with reporters all over our region. But let's start with meteorologist Kate Bilo and her latest forecast. Hi, Kate.
Wow, I'm just looking at our reporters standing out there, the flakes coming down, these huge fat flakes. This is a heavy wet snow, at least around the city and nearby suburbs where temperatures are close to the freezing mark. Right now it's 31 here at the broadcast center, and it is still snowing at a very good clip. We've got about 2 inches on the sky deck right now. You can see very low visibility as the snow continues to fall over Philadelphia. So here is our nor'easter. Now the actual center of the low has not yet moved out over the ocean, but we're starting to feel that northeast flow coming in off the water. We're watching our rain snow line, but there is still a lot of storm to get through, some wraparound snow later on tonight. Now there is a little bit of drier air trying to work its way into the center of the storm. We see that often. That's known as a dry slot. We'll see if that moves over our region, but right now we are in the thick of it. Right now in Philadelphia and down toward Wilmington, right along I-95 and all surrounding suburbs, including our South Jersey suburbs, including portions of Montgomery and Bucks County, Delaware County, and southern Chester County, as well as Wilmington, Delaware. It is coming down at a very, very rapid clip. In fact, since about 3 o'clock, many spots have seen snowfall rates of up to 2 inches per hour, which means this is piling up very quickly. It's good snowball fight snow. It's good snowman snow. It is also very heavy to shovel. So if you have to get out tonight and dig your car out, or even tomorrow morning, leave yourself plenty of time and be safe out there. Once again, watching that rain snow line. Here's Alloway. Remember, I told you to watch Alloway. It has now crept north of Alloway. So we're watching this back and forth on the rain snow line over South Jersey, seeing a little bit of sleet mixing in. And of course, it's all dependent on the temperatures. As temperatures stay in the 20s, this is all snow. This is 7:15. By about 11 o'clock tonight, when we're back on the air here, we'll be watching temperatures in the city getting closer to above freezing, and that's when some sleet or rain will mix in. That's also when the heaviest banding north and west will start to set up. 4:15 a.m. we're back to below freezing, so it's back to snow. Now down the shore and in Delaware, this is all rain through the duration of the system, unless you are close to the city of Philadelphia where it has been snow. Oxford, Chester County already half a foot on the ground, and look at Wilmington, Delaware, 5.5 inches already. West Philly checking in at 3.5, Gloucester City at 3.3, and here on the sky deck 2 inches. I'm going to go out in about another 15 or 20 minutes and measure again with my yardstick. But coming up, we'll have more on how this system will impact the coast. Even though they're not getting snow, Jessica, it is still a mess out there. We'll send it back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. And as Kate just mentioned, the western suburbs are expected to get some of the biggest snow totals. Joe Holden kicks off our team coverage this hour. He's in Paoli with a look at conditions. They're really coming down, Joe, like huge flakes.
Yeah, Jessica, like the snow globe effect, and I'm trying to angle myself this way because, as you can see, the wind is taking the snow and just blowing it that way. Classic nor'easter kind of feel to it. I'm at the Wawa at Paoli Pike and 30, and the parking lot is clearly covered. We have a couple of plows. They were putting some salt down. Predictably, they are waiting for this to just accumulate a little more before they go ahead and drop their plows and start moving this snow out of the way. Over here to the side street, there's no customers here right now, but quite a few cars have gotten stuck trying to make that hill. A lot of front-wheel drive vehicles. Earlier in this parking lot, as you see the snow just whipping towards the camera's lens, some rear-wheel drive trucks got stuck right in the parking lot. Don't go out if you don't have to. PennDOT is doing a good job, as we can see right now from the video. We'll go ahead and roll that as the plows were hitting Route 30 earlier. This taken about just an hour ago. The conditions, again, worsening as we've been here because it seems that we are in this very heavy band of snow, and it has been nonstop. I said that the snow machine is on full blast here in Paoli. Let's go ahead and bring it back live to the parking lot and show you the live truck here. Very unscientific, I might add. Very unscientific, but there you go. Maybe 3 to 4 inches right on that line, and it's just blowing around. Nasty out tonight, so we're going to keep an eye on things as storm continues to brew here. I'll be back in an hour with an update. That is the latest live in Paoli, Chester County. I'm Joe Holden, CBS 3 Eyewitness News. Jessica.
We'll check back for your finger forecast, Joe. Thank you. All right, the snow really piling up in Montgomery County. Plow truck drivers are at work on the roads. Natasha Brown is in King of Prussia monitoring the road conditions there. Hi, Natasha.
Hi there, Jessica. We are here at the King of Prussia Service Center right off the Pennsylvania Turnpike, and it's certainly starting to pick up here just over the last hour or so, certainly starting to accumulate more. This is the Turnpike that you're seeing here right beside me. You see that folks are certainly taking it slow because they really have no other choice at this point. Speed limit restrictions are in place, and visibility is certainly a factor. As you can see, that's why it is a slow go if you are out on the roads. And ultimately, PennDOT and Pennsylvania Turnpike officials are saying they need you to limit your travel tonight. They really want people to stay home, stay off the roads if at all possible. Just a short time ago, we saw a plow train just driving through, at least 6 or 7 plow trucks deep, and plenty of cars following behind them because that is always the safest place to be on a day like today. And we've been talking to drivers as well who are trying to navigate these tricky roadways today, and they tell us they're just taking it slowly and taking it safely.
It's not that bad right now, but I mean, it's a lot better than New York. At least in New York and Jersey, they have salt trucks. They take care of the road, so it's one good thing, you know. Yeah, if we were driving upstate, it wouldn't be like that, upstate New York. But driving down to PA, we're going to Lancaster, so it's roads haven't been that bad. So far.
Just taking it slow. What's your strategy for driving in weather like this?
Don't let her drive. No, that's why we switching drivers. No, but I mean, just go slow.
Well, it is all hands on deck. We can tell you that for PennDOT trucks. As many as 400 trucks are tackling these snow-covered roads at this point, and they are again telling people to just adhere to the rules, meaning do not try to pass them, stay behind them if at all possible. Speed restrictions are in place here along the Pennsylvania Turnpike and other major roadways as well. It's 45 miles per hour, nothing more, and you would certainly not want to do any more speeding at this point because that would be very, very dangerous for you. So again, restrictions have been phased into place starting at 1 o'clock here in the state of Pennsylvania. Again, more phases coming at 3:30 with certain vehicles that are not allowed on the roadway. So go to our website if you want more detailed information about who that applies to. Reporting live here in King of Prussia, Natasha Brown, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Natasha, thank you. As Yuki always says, slow your roll out there. Well, driving conditions in Bucks County are getting worse now that the sun has set. Alicia Roberts is on Street Road in Bensalem. Alicia, how are things looking where you are?
Jessica, since the last time we spoke, conditions really have deteriorated here. We've picked up about 2 inches of snow just within the last hour. Right now, we're estimating about 3 inches here on the sidewalk, on the grassy area. Behind me is Street Road in Bensalem, and I want you to take a look. We've seen some plows go through. We've seen SEPTA buses pass, but these drivers are now dealing with snow-covered roadways here in the Bensalem area just off the I-95 corridor. Basically, the scenario is the snow has been falling faster than the plow trucks can keep up here. So these drivers that we're seeing are still moving on the roadways, probably a little faster than they should because those roadways are slick. As Kate mentions, it's that wet kind of snow. So if you're out on the sidewalks, things are very slippery. The other problem that we're dealing with here are these massive wind gusts. Every now and again, you'll get a gust of wind that's been blowing the umbrella here and blowing the snow from the sidewalk onto the roadways here. So conditions less than ideal to be outside. If you're in Bucks County, you do not want to have to go out tonight if you don't have to be out. And again, the snow picking up here, it's continuing to fall at a pretty fierce pace right along this I-95 corridor. This is an area to watch in that snow rain line. And certainly the temperatures are cold enough that things will continue to freeze here. That's the very latest here in Bensalem. We'll be out here all night with updates. Jessica, for now, we'll send it back to you.
All right, Alicia, thank you. A state of emergency went into effect in New Jersey at 2 o'clock. Governor Murphy is urging people to avoid travel if possible, but he did have a request for those who are out in the storm.
If you are on the road after the storm conditions have begun, we urge you to please take it slow and use common sense and caution. We ask specifically that you stay clear of any plowing or spreading operations. Do not try to pass them. And if they are behind you, please let them pass so they can treat the roadway ahead of you.
New Jersey officials are also concerned about high winds tonight and the potential for power outages. As you've heard and can most likely see out your window, a winter storm is bearing down on our region. Meteorologist Kate Bilo has been tracking this forecast for some time. So, Kate, what's the latest?
Yeah, Jess, I don't think we're breaking any news here by telling people it is snowing, right, but we are talking about more and more hours of this to come. This has just gotten started, especially in our north and west suburbs. Spots like Bethlehem may be in the zone that gets the most snow out of this system, or at least close to it. Right now, you can see a couple of inches on the ground, but the heaviest bands have not yet shifted up into the north and west suburbs. Right now, the heaviest snow is actually right over Philadelphia, Delaware County, Chester County, parts of Camden, Gloucester, Salem counties in New Jersey, and Newcastle County in Delaware. So this storm is still strengthening as we speak. You can see the wraparound moisture all the way back into the Ohio Valley and down into West Virginia. And again, right now you can see where the brightest colors are. That first heavy snow band just starting to shift up over Bucks County. We're still seeing very heavy snow around the Philadelphia nearby suburbs, the city of Philadelphia, upper Delaware County, northern Chester County right now. I just heard from my dad in Phoenixville. He's got 2.5 inches on the ground. It's about to be more. Look at that band right over Euclid Township. The main line getting hit hard, upper Bucks, as well as portions of northern Burlington County and into Camden and Gloucester counties as well. It's very heavy rain as you head over toward Toms River, portions of Ocean County and down the shore. And we're starting to see some sleet mix in Wilmington. Just got an update in Oxford, Chester County. They now have 7 inches on the ground. A 1/4 inch of that, though, is sleet. So about 6 3/4 inches of snow with a 1/4 inch of sleet on top of it. And that rain snow line, there's Alloway. We've been using that as our baseline. That rain snow line has shifted a little bit further to the north, but it's kind of intruding from the south a little bit. So we are still keeping that snow in the South Jersey suburbs. 7:30 tonight, you can see temperatures are likely still going to be below freezing in Wilmington, Philadelphia, and Trenton. The sun is down now. If this were coming in midday, we would have more of a mixing issue already happening. But now that the sun has set, it's tough to get those temperatures to rise until you get that brisk east wind off the water. Once that center of low pressure moves offshore, we get that wind off the ocean, and that's when temperatures will start to rise a little bit in the city. But notice, here's when some of the heaviest snow falls in those north and west suburbs, the far north and west suburbs and the Poconos, not until about 11 o'clock or possibly even midnight as those bands shift to the north. And it's still heavy rain in South Jersey. Then a return to snow briefly on the back edge of this storm. We can get some banding sometimes on the back edge of a storm as well. So that could easily dump another inch or two. And then by noon tomorrow, it is over. By tomorrow night, temperatures down into the 20s, even the single digits by Friday morning in those north and west suburbs. So here's our snowfall map once again. This does include what has already fallen. This is not additional snow. This is what we'll end up with when all is said and done. 6 to 12 inches in that winter storm warning area from Philadelphia into the nearby suburbs. Eventually 12 to 18 once those heavier bands get going over the Lehigh Valley. Some spots near the Poconos up towards Scranton, Wilkes-Barre could see as much as 2 feet of snow from this, and we'll end up with 3 to 6 inches, possibly more in spots across the nearby South Jersey suburbs, many of which are already reporting 3 or 4 inches of snow. So it's when you get those intense snowfall rates, 1 to 2 or even 3 inches per hour, that you get the snow to pile up so quickly. And sometimes you may even hear a rumble of thunder. Meteorologist Matt Peterson joins us from home to talk more about a phenomenon known as thunder snow. Matt, you think we could see some of that tonight?
Yeah, Kate, I really do. It looks like we're going to see some of those intense bands like you were just talking about. They're going to be setting up probably north and west of the city, but across the entire region, whether you're at the shore, through 95, or up into the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos, there's actually a threat for some thunder or some lightning with this system because we're going to have a lot of low-level and mid-level instability. So that's what you need when you have any kind of thunderstorm, whether it's in the springtime or if you're getting a rare winter thunderstorm that could have this thunder snow or, in some cases, for some of us, thunder sleet. That mid-level instability is going to be fed by some mid-level warm air that's also going to change the snow over to that sleet and that wintry mix. But as that banding sets up, we're going to get snow rates that could be as high as 2 inches per hour. And again, the best chance to see the thunder snow or thunder sleet with this storm is going to be in the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos as we get into the evening and overnight tonight. This is not the first time we've had thunder snow or thunder sleet within the Philadelphia area, but it's been a while since we last saw this kind of weather phenomenon. The last time it happened was March of 2018. Now, if you remember, that was a March that had 4 nor'easters in it in basically 4 weeks. And with the system that produced the thunder snow, that's the one that happened on March 7th. And there's some similarities between that system and the one that we're dealing with here today and tonight. Snow rates in that system were between 1 to 3 inches per hour, and it dumped 6 inches of snow in Philly. So, Kate, we're seeing a lot of similarities between that system from 2018 and our system here tonight. It'll be really interesting to see if we do get some of that thunder snow with that low level and mid level instability that comes out.
It's always such a cool phenomenon, too, because it's like a thunderstorm, but it's literally just raining snow on the area. It's very, very interesting. Can't wait to see if that happens. Thanks so much for that lesson on thunder snow and thunder sleet, Matt. And we'll take a look at the winds as well, because just like in a thunderstorm, you can even get winds with those squall lines of thunder snow and thunder sleet that really pick up. Any gust over 40 or 45 miles an hour will blow the snow around. We've been hearing already of some drifting happening. 5 inches reported in parts of Chester County, but the winds are blowing it into 7-inch drifts. So you're going to see a little bit of that happening as well. Winds later tonight as that storm moves offshore could gust as high as 60 miles an hour at the coast, where a high wind warning is in effect, and coastal flood warnings as well, all through the shore points and the mouth of the Delaware Bay as well. Coastal flooding will be moderate tonight. Some roads may be impassable as the water spills over them. And if you live down the shore, you're familiar with this happening anytime we get a nor'easter or just a persistent northeast wind like this. Your 7-day forecast from Eyewitness Weather: 36 tomorrow. The snow ends, but it's windy and very cold. Frigid again Friday at 35. Saturday starts in the teens, but it does thaw out a little bit, strangely enough, just in time for winter to start on Monday. We'll be right back.
The CBS3 Mobile Weather Watcher, sponsored by your local Chevy dealers.
Welcome back to CBS 3 at 5. I'm Jessica Cartalia. A winter storm is walloping the region. Some areas are seeing very heavy snow right now. CBS 3 cameras in Paoli, where the snow started this afternoon. The roads were quickly covered, as were cars and sidewalks. It is going to be a messy night in Chester County. The CBS 3 Mobile Weather Watcher is checking the roads for you right now. It is on Route 202 in Bluebell, Montgomery County. The roads are looking pretty rough, as you can see, and they could get worse as the storm progresses again. If you don't have to go out, stay home. Kate, the storm all over the map when it comes to the precipitation. It really depends on where you live.
It really does, Jessica, and that's what we've been saying all along with this system. Now, the snow came in fast and furious, piled up very quickly. We are starting to see a changeover. I was just out on the sky deck. I measured about 4 inches of snow here in Center City, but it has now changed over to some sleet, or at least starting to mix with some sleet. You can just hear the little pellets dinging on the windows out there, and I tried to stick the black sleeve out to see if it was snowflakes or little sleet pellets. Looks like it's mainly sleet now, so we're starting to see a little bit of that changeover in the city. Meanwhile, north and west, cities like Bethlehem, where we're looking right now, it is all snow, and it's going to stay snow, and more of it through tonight. If there's any mixing at all, it's just a little period of sleet that mixes in the Lehigh Valley. Right now, Main Street almost completely covered in snow, and those heavy bands are just starting to shift up into the Lehigh Valley. The storm's starting to tilt just a little bit as the center of low pressure pushes offshore. So you can see the heaviest band that went through Philadelphia in the past hour or so, with snowfall rates of 1 to 2+ inches per hour, has started to shift northward a little bit. You can see the lighter colors over the city. Again, I was just out there. It is not coming down as heavily as it was even 20 minutes ago. Right now, the heaviest band is right over the Turnpike here. Bucks County, Bensalem, up toward Richboro, Montgomery, Norristown, this whole area, King of Prussia, through the main line as well, seeing very, very heavy snow right now, and it is just shifting toward the Lehigh Valley. So the Northeast Extension getting clobbered, Plymouth meeting this busy extension here, also dealing with very heavy snow. You can see the sleet and the mix starting to work its way in. We've had over 5 inches of snow reported near Wilmington. Now you're getting some sleet on top of that. And while sleet doesn't pile up as quickly as snow, you still can get measurable sleet accumulations And again, the question is, does it get warm enough for any rain to work its way in? That would compact the snow, cause a little bit of melting, and it wouldn't look quite as pretty overnight, but it may change back over to snow by early morning in those areas that see the mix. Winds right now already picking up as well. Winds gusting to near 40 miles an hour, causing the snow to drift. Basically, stay off the roads if you can tonight. It is a mess out there. Coming up, we'll recap some of our snow totals as they continue rolling in, and I'll time this out and tell you when the snow will get on out of here. For now, Jessica, back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. The snow has led to the cancellation of some flights at Lehigh Valley International Airport. Driving is tough, too. Our team coverage continues with Kimberly Davis live in Allentown. And Kimberly, you took the Northeast Extension out there. How was that?
Yeah, well, you just said it, Jess. Driving is tough, and difficult was the word to describe our drive from Philadelphia to Lehigh County. We're in Allentown right now. It's about an hour and 20-minute drive on a good day. Today, it took us about 2.5 hours to get from Philadelphia to downtown Allentown. Take a look at the roads. This is pretty much what it looked like on that Northeast Extension as well. Snow covered. We did not see, at least I didn't see one plow out there on the Northeast Extension clearing those roadways. So that's much of the story and much of the case for a lot of Lehigh County. Thankfully, we did not see a lot of vehicles on the roads because they are snow covered. You will have a difficult time driving on the roads this evening. We did see a couple vehicles on the shoulder of the road. We did see emergency services working to get one car that was in a ditch. Now, according to PennDOT, they are going to work on the main arteries first, and then they'll make their ways to the secondary roads and alleys. But as you can see right now, it's pretty snow covered right now. So if you don't have to be out here on the roads, stay at home. A little side note, the city council meeting that was scheduled for this evening has been postponed until Monday, and an emergency declaration was declared here in Allentown at 8 a.m., and that will continue until Thursday. That's the very latest live here in Allentown. I'm Kimberly Davis, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Kimberly, thank you. Well, right now, as you can see, the snow is really coming down. It's more of the same in Philadelphia. And while it's a nuisance for some in the city, it's a welcome sight for others who haven't experienced this much snow in some time. Eyewitness News reporter Alicia Reed is at Clark Park in West Philadelphia, where she spoke with some excited children. Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Jess, that's right. I would say it's an understatement to say that they've been looking forward to a snow day. There's so much excitement here at Clark Park. Right behind me, there are two large, I want to say oversized snowballs. The third one, I got to give the guy some credit. He said it was his first time trying to make one, and it just wouldn't go. So he's getting a little help from his friends here. Now the snow continues to come down, which is perfect for those wanting to enjoy some time outdoors. It's extremely cold. My fingers are frozen, but after speaking to some of these children, it's never too cold to play in the snow. They're used to taking their sleds and going down the hill, which is what they've been doing today. Some of them making snow angels. Others are simply rolling down the hill, and that includes adults. You know, I guess there's still a kid in all of us. The holidays are here, so this comes at a great time. Families are happy to see the smiles on their children's faces. And after having no snow last winter, they say the kids definitely needed this.
I was really excited because my babysitter told me that it was snowing, and I put all my warm clothes on and went outside right away. Really fun. We went on the sled, and there were people in the way, and I think it's better with people in the way.
It's awesome. I mean, this seems pretty COVID safe, for one thing. Pretty hygienic. And, you know, it's joyful and it's normal, and that's awesome.
Festive, really.
Yeah, super festive. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have the holiday decorations up with the snow. It's a good time. We're excited.
Love it. A whole lot of excitement out here now. The snow is still coming down quite steadily. Roads are messy, and so people are being advised to stay off the roads, don't drive, take public transportation. And so with that, trains and trolleys will continue to run underground overnight. Reporting live from West Philadelphia, Alicia Reed, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
I love that little girl. It's better when people are in the way, right? Move. All right, Alicia, have fun out there. Thank you. Stay with Eyewitness News as we track this nor'easter. We'll have continuing coverage through our 6 o'clock news here on CBS 3. There will be hourly updates on our streaming service, CBSN Philly, and you can always check the forecast at cbsphilly.com.
Let's take a look at what's happening outside. Brought to you by Pella Windows. Perfectly beautiful. For continuing storm watch coverage, download the CBS 3 weather app.
And we are following breaking news right now. A traffic jam on the Schuylkill westbound between the Blue Route and Gulf Mills. We're told that several cars are stuck in the snow and have stalled. Only the left lane is getting by. And unfortunately, more cars keep getting caught up in these slippery conditions. Again, if you don't have to go out, don't go. A winter storm warning, winter weather advisory, coastal flood warning, and high wind warning. We have got it all as a powerful nor'easter hits our area. So, Kate, what's the very latest?
Well, the latest, Jessica, is we're starting to see a little bit of a transition to sleet and a mix in the city and surrounding suburbs. Have some reports of sleet coming down outside our studios, report of sleet in Paoli now, and sleet coming down in the city. You can see visibility is a whole lot better as we look live at Logan Circle right now because we don't have those big fat flakes falling like they were just an hour or so or even a half hour ago. So in this transition, the precipitation has lightened up quite a bit. It may start to come down heavier shortly as sleet, but you can see right now we're in a little bit of a lull. Still looking pretty bright here on Storm Scan 3, but you can see how the heaviest snows have shifted to the north. A little bit of a lessening in the precipitation intensity for now as that low starts to make its way offshore and then start to throw back more moisture. So still dealing with light to moderate rainfall through the shore points, heavy rain in southern Delaware. And right now the heaviest snow is where you see those brighter returns here up across Bucks County, Mercer County, portions of upper Montgomery County, and into northern Chester County as well. A little bit of lighter precipitation here in Philadelphia. Right now from the Turnpike on north is where the heaviest snow is falling. Take a look at some of our numbers here. They haven't quite lined up correctly, but Oxford at about 7 inches of snow, Folsom, Delaware County 6.5, Rittenhouse Square, also Medford, and CBS 3 Studios. Rittenhouse Square was at about 5 inches. That's the one missing there. Medford, New Jersey, and here at the CBS 3 Studios on our sky deck, about 4 inches of snow, but now starting to transition into a wintry mix or some sleet. So this number, 30 degrees at Philadelphia Airport, is from 5 o'clock. We'll see when it changes at 6 o'clock if we've gotten closer to the freezing mark. You can see that freezing mark starting to move through the I-95 corridor. So we're up to freezing in Wilmington. It's 32 in Mount Holly. South of this area, it is warm enough that it's mainly just rain, but look how cold it is in Allentown. It's 21, 24 in Reading, 28 in Lancaster, and 15 in Mount Pocono. So as the snow moves into those areas, it's that fluffier, higher ratio snow, meaning it piles up a little bit more quickly. That drier, fluffier snow tends to pile up more quickly than the heavy, wet snow, which compacts as it falls. So future weather showing, again, a little bit of a lightening in the precip shield as we make that transition to sleet. Once we get toward about 10:30, it's a mix in the Philadelphia area, I-95 corridor, rain to the south, heavy snow to the north. It will likely change back over to snow overnight, especially in the city and nearby suburbs as that colder air wraps in around the back edge of the storm and then ending by mid-morning tomorrow. So again, our amounts, we're looking right on the border of 6 inches here in Philadelphia, 3 to 6 in the South Jersey communities. That has pretty much already fallen. That will likely be all you get. Many of these spots in South Jersey, look out your window now. That's probably as much as you get. Maybe you add a little bit as the wraparound moisture comes in overnight. 18 to 24 still looking likely in portions of central and northern Pennsylvania and the Poconos. The wind is blowing it around. We'll have a high wind warning at 6 p.m. starting for the shore. 10:15 tonight, gusts over 50, possibly near 60 miles per hour. And as we head into the overnight hours, we'll start to see the winds then switch as the storm center moves further out to sea, but still quite windy tomorrow. So down the shore, we have a coastal flood warning. Roads may be impassable. Wind gusts to 60 miles an hour and possibly over 3 inches of rainfall. Behind this system, bitter cold is in the forecast. Arctic high pressure builds in, highs only in the 30s. Saturday morning, we start in the teens, even in Philadelphia with wind chills near 0. Your Eyewitness Weather 7-day forecast, mid-30s for the next 2 days. Saturday is dry and sunny, but still quite cold. Then it does start to warm up a little bit next week, and it looks like a pretty dry stretch as we lead up toward Christmas at the end of next week. Jessica, we'll send it back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. And that's Eyewitness News at 5. Eyewitness News at 6 starts right now.
Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Philadelphia, this is CBS3 Eyewitness News.
Now at 6, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Right now, the first winter storm of the season is slamming our region. This is Eyewitness News at 6. We are streaming live on CBSN Philly. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Cartalia. Yuki is off tonight. The heavy snow is still falling right now, and it's leading to some major problems on the roads. This is a live look at the westbound side of the Schuylkill Expressway between the Blue Route and Gulf Mills. Cars are getting stuck because of the slippery conditions there. The drivers who are moving in a crawl. We are several hours into the storm now, and the snow is still coming down in Paoli, Chester County. It is an early winter wonderland there. People already breaking out the salt to try and keep the sidewalks from getting too slick. And the ice scrapers also getting quite a workout in Swedesboro, Gloucester County. The snow is slowly piling up before it switches over to rain. Right now, there is a state of emergency in New Jersey. And some children in Philadelphia are already taking advantage of the fresh coat of snow. They hopped on the sleds at Clark Park in West Philly to enjoy some fun in the snow before the sun went down. Driving right now, though, not so fun. Here's what it looks like from the CBS3 mobile weather watcher. A slow go for the evening commute on the Pennsylvania Turnpike near Valley Forge. Do not go out tonight if you don't have to. We have team coverage of the storm with crews spread out across the region. First, let's get right to meteorologist Kate Bilo with a look at the forecast right now. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jessica. Yeah, this has been quite an interesting day so far, and the storm is still only about halfway over, if that. But we are now in a transition phase. So if you look out your windows right now, depending on your location, you may not see the precipitation coming down as heavily as it was. That's because we are transitioning in the city and suburbs to a period of sleet, and you can't see that as well as you can see those big fat snowflakes. Here's a spot, though, that is not seeing sleet. It is snowing as hard as it has snowed all day in Bethlehem. Take a look as we look along Main Street. If you look into those street lights, if you can look very, very closely there, you can see it is just dumping snow in Bethlehem right now. It is coming down at a very, very solid rate there. And so far, the snow in most of the north and west suburbs has been, or far north and west suburbs at least, the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos, has been light to moderate. They have had accumulation, but right now it is coming down as heavily as it has so far. So the heavy bands are now pushing to the north. Got someone, a diehard out there jogging, it looks like. More power to you. Enjoy that. Just make sure you don't slip. Hopefully you got the treads on the bottom of the shoes there. Storm Scan 3 is showing what's happening right now. So again, the heaviest bands of snow have pushed from Philadelphia off to the north. So right now we're seeing the heaviest snow in portions of Upper Montgomery and Bucks counties into the Lehigh Valley. Rain still coming down at a heavy rate down through Delaware and South Jersey. There is a little bit of a dry slot working its way into central Pennsylvania. For us, we're starting to see a lightening of the precip rates as that transition period takes over. So it is not coming down as heavily. You're mostly feeling or hearing sleet, maybe pinging against your windows out there. And even if it looks like snow, I heard from my dad in Phoenixville says it's all sleet there. Joe in Paoli told us it's all sleet there. And in Philadelphia, out on our sky deck, mainly sleet. Heard from Matt Peterson in Montgomery County. He said it's mainly transitioning to sleet at his house as well. So the farther north and west you go, the more snow you are seeing. To the south and east, we are transitioning to that sleet. So that's what's going to hold these totals down a little bit. If it were colder and this were all snow, we'd be talking feet of snow, even in Philadelphia. But temperatures are marginal. We're getting to near freezing right now, and that's what's causing that transition as warmer air moves into the mid-levels of the atmosphere thanks to the winds coming in off the ocean. So as temps rise, there's your mix zone. Now, if it stays cold, which it looks like it's going to do, north and west, Reading, Allentown, Mount Pocono, Bethlehem, this is all snow through the duration of the storm, and we've got hours left to go. This will likely end as snow. The question is, will there be enough snow on the back edge of this as the cold air wraps in to produce any additional accumulations? It looks like for those South Jersey suburbs, Camden County, Gloucester County that have picked up 4, in some spots 5 inches of snow. That's probably all you're going to see. You're in the 3 to 6 zone. That's where you're at, and that's probably where you'll stay. It's the areas to the north and west that are going to see more snow pile up as we head through the overnight hours. So Oxford, Chester County picked up about 6 3/4 inches of snow before it changed to sleet. 1/4 inch of sleet on top of that for a total accumulation right now of 7 inches. Folsom, Delaware County at 6.5. Rittenhouse Square in Philadelphia, of course, picking up 5 inches already. Medford's at 4 inches, and at the CBS3 studios, 4 inches. Best way to get a consensus if you're out there with the yardstick, by the way, measure 3 or 4 times and take the average. That's what I did out on the sky deck because it was disturbed a little. I've been out there a lot today. Temperatures right now, it's close. These are the 6 o'clock temperatures. Philadelphia Airport still at about freezing. The question is, as you head up higher in the atmosphere, is there a warm layer trying to set up that's going to melt the snow as it falls? Then it refreezes into sleet. That's what we're dealing with, that mid-level warmth, that warm air intrusion, we like to call it. And that's what's causing the changeover to sleet along I-95. Still very cold up to the north and west and very mild to the south. It's 50 right now in Georgetown, and the winds are now just starting to pick up the pace. Our high wind warning just went into effect 2 minutes ago down the shore. Winds through the next several hours could gust as high as 60 miles per hour. And once the winds really pick up, that's when we'll have to watch for scattered power outages all across the region. So this storm is far from done, but for some spots, the heavy accumulating snow may have ended for the storm's duration. Certainly not for areas north and west of Philadelphia. Much more to come. Jessica, back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. It is a very snowy night in the Lehigh Valley. The flakes really falling there. The storm, as we know, far from done. Kimberly Davis is in Allentown, where they are expected to see a lot of snow from this storm. Kimberly, what are the conditions like? And I know it took you a while to get out there today.
Well, the conditions, it's beautiful. I would call it a beautiful winter wonderland as long as you don't have to drive through it. But the conditions were pretty bad for us. We had quite the time driving from Philadelphia over here to downtown Allentown. And that's usually an hour and 20-minute drive. It took us nearly 2.5 hours. The roadways are snow covered. And if you take a look here in Allentown, they've got at least 4 inches of snow out here. You see some folks out here shoveling their own walkways so folks don't slip down and hurt themselves out here. But there is an emergency declaration here in Allentown. It was declared at 8 o'clock this morning. It will go on until at least sometime tomorrow. As you can see, people are out here walking around enjoying the weather, and plows are just starting now to come through the town. Since we've been out here for about a half hour now, we've seen one plow, and they are telling us that they are working on the main arteries first, and then they'll get to those secondary roads. That's the very latest live in Allentown. I'm Kimberly Davis, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Kimberly, thank you. And now to Eyewitness News reporter Joe Holden. He's on the main line in a very chilly and snowy Paoli. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Jess. Yeah, and icy now. Let me go ahead and give you a listen to the sleet that's falling. And there's that classic soundtrack of the changeover right now. So I have a little show and tell for you. I cleared the snow off this side of the hood here. And, you know, I mean, it comes right off. This was a good 4 or 5 inches. The sleet sort of pancaked it down. And as Kate said, starts to look like a little less than what we actually saw earlier. In the Wawa parking lot here, the plows are doing their jobs. He's making his first pass. There's enough that has accumulated. Again, I'm standing in the snow, but the area that's been cleared, you know, we've seen some people come out of the Wawa. They do that classic, you know, sort of eggshell walk because it's dicey. It is treacherous. The roads here, the side roads, not the best, not the greatest. We've seen many a car get stuck trying to get up that hill. The Paoli Barrow trucks have come out here. They've treated it numerous times. They go up to the top of the hill and they do a slow crawl back as they disperse salt onto the roadway. So the story from the suburbs here along the main line is if you don't have to go out, of course, stay home. Chester County EMA reporting incidents all over the place, minor accidents and crashes, nothing major at this time. And one note from my managing editor wanted us to share this, that the Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board is also adjusting hours right now. They are seeing some phase-ins of some store closures. So if you need that late-minute bottle of wine, better check before you head out. Live in Paoli, Joe Holden, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, that would be unsafe and a bummer. Joe, thank you. Philadelphia has become a winter playland. City residents who haven't seen this much snow in 2 years quickly headed to West Philly's Clark Park for some fun in the sun, in the snow. That's where we find Alicia Reed, who spoke to some very excited children. I think that was a Freudian slip. I think we're all looking for the sunshine.
Well, it feels like sunshine for the people out here, Jess. They've been looking forward to a snow day for so long, so it's a very exciting time here at Clark Park. And look, of course, the obligatory snowman has been built. It's finally here, and now, of course, you know, there's got to be a snow fight. There's no snow day without a snow fight. And it's good that we're still getting steady precipitation. You know, it helps with the current project of the snowman and, of course, a little bit more of the snow fighting. Let me tell you guys, though, it is extremely cold out here. My fingers are frozen. But after speaking to some children and adults, it's never too cold to play in the snow. They're using their sleds to slide down the hill. Some of them making snow angels, others are simply rolling down the hill, and that includes adults. You know, there's a kid in all of us. The holidays are here, so this comes at a great time. Families are just happy to see the smiles on their children's faces. And after having no snow last winter, they say the kids definitely needed this.
I think it's right on time. Kids need to get out and have some fun, especially after the year that they've had. And I think it's a good omen for more fun for kids here in Philly.
We went to Cambridge when it snowed, but that didn't count, so it only counts here. Really, really, really fun by going down like the hill, and it was amazing.
And although people are out here having fun in the snow in the different parks around the city, you know, roads are messy, and so people are being advised to take public transportation instead of driving. And to help accommodate all those people that will be taking public transportation, trolleys and trains will continue to run overnight throughout the evening. Reporting live from West Philadelphia, Alicia Reed, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, that snowman was looking good, or snow lady. Alicia, thanks. Slow down if you're planning to drive out there. PennDOT would rather you just stay home. Eyewitness News in snowy King of Prussia. A short time ago, PennDOT reduced speed limits to 45 miles per hour on the Turnpike and major roads in Pennsylvania. This includes I-95, the Schuylkill Expressway, and the Blue Route. Officials say that their goal is to keep the roads clear as the snow continues to move through our area. A state of emergency went into effect in New Jersey this afternoon. This was the scene earlier in Swedesboro, Gloucester County. Governor Murphy urged people to stay off the roads if possible. He did say that if you do have to go out, please take it slowly and give road crews plenty of room to do their job. You can track the storm all night long using the CBS Philly weather app. Download it for free on Apple and Android devices. And we'll be here all night to help you get through this nor'easter. We'll have hourly updates on our streaming service, CBSN Philly, and you can always get the updated forecast at CBSPhilly.com. And we are continuing to keep an eye on the nor'easter as the snow continues to fall. Kate is updating her forecast, and we'll let you know where the snow will start to switch over to rain tonight. And we want to see what it looks like in your neighborhood. Share your photos of the snow using the hashtag CBS3Snow, and you may see them here on TV.
CBS 3's Mobile Weather Watcher is sponsored by your local Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDealer.com.
We are continuing to keep an eye on the snow falling across our region. You're looking live at the snowy scene in Bethlehem. Kate will have the updated forecast in just a minute. Kate has been preparing us for days that this was coming. So, Kate, what can we expect for the rest of the night?
Well, Jessica, we're going to have more of what you're seeing out your window right now, whether it's rain, whether it's sleet, or whether, like in Bethlehem, it is heavy falling snow, which is being blown around by the wind as well. Visibilities are very, very low. We're transitioning to a sleet mix. As Joe showed us, you could hear it clinging on the top of the CBS3 weather van or van out there this afternoon and evening. And now we're starting to see that sleet mix in the city. But north and west, the areas that we've told you from the beginning would end up getting the most snow. Look at this, how it's just blowing in that light, that street light in Bethlehem. And now we have some flashes of lightning out over the Atlantic Ocean. Matt Peterson was telling us earlier about the possibility of thunder snow and thunder sleet tonight. When you see lightning like this as the storm moves off the coast, there's the center of the low moving out into the coastal waters, and it's really starting to rapidly strengthen. You are going to see the threat for convection, lightning and thunder, as the storm rapidly drops in pressure. So right now we've got a little bit of everything. We've got the snow to the north, heavy bands of snow in the far north and west suburbs. We've got that transition zone of snow and sleet around the city and nearby South Jersey suburbs. You can see that rain snow line is sneaking a little bit further to the north. And even right now, where you don't see the pink, it is sleet in Philadelphia and much of Delaware and Chester counties. We're seeing mainly snow in upper Bucks and upper Montgomery counties and the Lehigh Valley, starting to see that sleet work its way in. And that is starting to drop the precipitation rates at least a little bit. So right now, the areas that have picked up 4 or 5 inches of snow here around the city and South Jersey suburbs, again, seeing that warm air starting to nose in and getting that changeover, that pink, meaning the accumulating snow is at the very least taking a break, if not coming to an end in these areas. Further north and west, it's mainly snow, the northeast extension up into Montgomery County, up toward Lansdale, Quakertown, Allentown, Mount Pocono. This is likely to stay snow for the duration. There may be a little bit of sleet that tries to work its way in there. If so, that will lower the totals there just slightly as well. But again, even with the sleet coming down, that causes slippery conditions out on the roadways. Heavy rain and gusty winds down the shore. Heavy snow at 11 p.m. in the Poconos. And then we start to see the colder air around the back edge of the storm crash southward by about 2 or 3 a.m. And we may have another round of snow. I'm not sure how far south it gets. It may not get farther south than the city, but there will likely be another round of snow on the back edge of this system before all is said and done. So really, it's just a big giant mess out there. And here's what we'll likely end up with. Right around 6 inches in the city of Philadelphia. Once again, it may not look like 6 inches because any sleet or rain is going to cause that to kind of compact and melt a bit. But that's probably what we'll end up with, close to that, at least 5 inches already in Rittenhouse. 6 to 12 as you head up into Bucks and Montgomery counties, likely 12 to 18 in the Lehigh Valley and possibly 18 plus in the Poconos, with as much as 2 feet possible as you head into north central Pennsylvania. Nothing down the shore and Delaware. It's all rain and likely will not change over to snow even as the cold air comes in overnight. So still some heavy snow across much of southeastern Pennsylvania, but through the overnight, the mix will continue along I-95. Thunder snow is possible mainly in the Lehigh Valley and far northwest suburbs as that storm strengthens offshore. Already seeing those reports of lightning off the coast, so I think we will get some banding, possibly some rumbles of thunder. Strong gusty winds will continue as well. Winds right now are gusting to about 35 or 40 miles an hour, but overnight, late tonight into the overnight hours, winds will pick up in intensity, gusting over 50 and possibly near 60 miles per hour down the shore, gusts possibly near 50 miles an hour, even in the city of Philadelphia. And then by tomorrow morning, the wind switches around the back edge of the storm. It's still windy, but we'll start to see at least the coastal waters being pushed further out to sea as the storm departs. Tomorrow, 9:30 a.m., still winds gusting over 30 miles an hour. So a high wind warning is in effect down the shore for gusts to 60 miles an hour. That goes until 1 a.m. Once this storm exits, the bitter cold moves in. So Arctic high pressure starts to slide in tomorrow. Highs are only in the 30s tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. Teens on Saturday morning with wind chills near the freezing mark. So the good news is if you like looking out the window and seeing that white coating out there, it's going to stick around for a while. Not a lot of melting, at least through Saturday. We will warm up to 44 on Sunday and back to the mid 40s and near 50 next week. So it depends on where you are. Most areas will probably see this melt by Christmas, but the farther north and west you go, there may still be some left on the ground. That remains to be seen next week. But Jessica, still many hours to go in this system, and we'll be with you through the whole thing. We'll send it back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. Well, as that snow piles up, there is a battle in school districts over whether to bury snow days since many students are learning virtually. The Philadelphia School District says tomorrow will not be a snow day despite a petition from 7th graders. An Upper Darby kindergartner had better luck. She got a snow day for her entire district by speaking up in a virtual meeting. Radnor schools also have a snow day. We'll be right back. Well, the snow is still falling right now across our region. Philadelphia just announced all trash and recycling collections are suspended for tomorrow. Eyewitness News will be here all night to help you get through the storm. We are going to have live hourly updates on CBS and Philly. Thanks so much for watching Eyewitness News at 6. We'll be back at 10 on the CW Philly and here on CBS 3 at 11. And for those of you watching on CBS and Philly, we will continue with local news shortly. Here on CBS 3, the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell is next. Stay safe.
This is a CBS 3 Storm Watch update.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Kate Bilo with an update on the major nor'easter that is still impacting our region. I want to take you up to Bethlehem, where the snow is still coming down at a very, very high rate right now. We've got some blowing and drifting happening as well up across the Lehigh Valley. Here's the big picture of the system. The center of the low just working its way offshore and starting to really, really intensify. You can tell that by the lightning and thunder we have reported out over the Atlantic Ocean. As the center of the low moves offshore and the storm strengthens, we're going to start seeing these intense snowfall bands develop across the north and west suburbs from the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos on across North Jersey and toward New York City as well. We've had a little bit of a change over to sleet in Philadelphia and nearby suburbs. There is also a dry slot right here working its way into the storm. So very likely going to be a lull in precipitation for a time. Although north and west of the city, I do think these bands will continue to form, dumping 2 to 3 inches of snow per hour in these spots. So even over portions of Lehigh and Northampton counties, where it's still relatively light right now near Allentown, you can see the bands starting to set up here over Upper Bucks County and into Berks County. And these are the areas that will likely see some very heavy snow over the next hours. Meantime, in Philadelphia, Mount Holly and Wilmington, temperatures hovering right around the freezing mark. So that means we're still seeing that sleet, where we are seeing a little bit of a warm layer above the surface, and so the precipitation is melting as it falls and then refreezing close to the surface, where we are seeing the sleet changeover. So we're not piling things up quite as quickly there right now. Winds are picking up as well. Winds gusting to 46 miles per hour in Wilmington, Delaware right now, 37 miles an hour in Atlantic City. So any snow that is falling, again, blowing and drifting, leading to very low visibility on the roads right through the overnight hours tonight. So you can see that little dry slot, a little bit of a lull in precipitation around 10 o'clock around the city, but still heavy snow in the far north and west suburbs. It will likely then change back over to snow in the city overnight for a time. We may get another couple of inches of accumulation once that happens from the city on north and west. The areas in South Jersey that saw 4 or 5 inches of snow earlier this evening, that's likely all you're going to see accumulation wise, and it will likely be compacted a bit by the rain and sleet that will be falling into the overnight hours. This will still be going on early tomorrow morning and then come to an end by 8 or 9 o'clock. So once again, here's what we'll end up with: 6 to 12 inches in a band throughout the north and west suburbs, as much as 12 to 18 through the Lehigh Valley, and even more possible up into the Poconos. 3 to 6 is what we ended up with across the South Jersey suburbs. That's likely all we'll see, ending up with around 6 inches when all is said and done, probably in Philadelphia. But once again, it may look like less tomorrow morning because of the sleet and rain. A little bit of a mess as temperatures hover near the freezing mark. The areas that get the heaviest snow out of this, those north and west suburbs, where again, over the next few hours, snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour are possible. Please stay off the roads if you can. We'll have an update coming up at 8 and 9 o'clock on our streaming service, CBSN Philly, and of course, complete details back here on CBS 3 at 11 o'clock tonight. We now return you to your regularly scheduled broadcast.
This has been a CBS 3 Storm Watch update.
Right now at 11, all of this snow, and winter hasn't officially started yet. A powerful nor'easter is leaving its mark across our region. People in Allentown dealing with near whiteout conditions. A mess on the roads, snow covered and slick highways turn into parking lots after drivers become stuck. It is a slippery walk, too, in many parts of our region. The snow has changed over to a mix of sleet and rain, making sidewalks treacherous. And shovels are out in force in Northeast Philadelphia. Dozens of volunteers from the World Mission Society Church of God cleared the snow and ice in front of homes along Castor Avenue. The storm is far from over. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jessica Cartalia. Yuki is off tonight. Snow, ice, rain, wind. This nor'easter is really packing a punch. We have live Team 3 coverage tonight of the storm from the Lehigh Valley to South Jersey. But let's start with meteorologist Kate Bilo. She is tracking the very latest and what we can expect as we go through the night. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jessica. Well, as anticipated, this storm has been an all-day event and it has been a mess. A little bit of everything. We had heavy snow at the onset of the storm. 4, 5, 6, as much as 7 inches came down in a very short period of time. And then it started to change over. Sleet and freezing rain compacting that snow, making it look like less than it was, and also creating that slushy, icy mess that's even harder to shovel and harder to scrape off the cars. Now we're in what's known as a dry slot. You can see there's really not much happening outside in the city of Philadelphia right now. It's starting to fill back in, but oftentimes with these big dynamic systems, as they start to transfer their energy to the coastal low, you start to see a little bit of dry air that likes to work its way into the center of a storm. We saw it earlier today over western Pennsylvania. We've now seen it over our area. Now it is starting to fill back in, but at the same time, the storm is starting to move out. So the question becomes, how much more snow can we see around the back edge of this system before it races up through portions of New England? Right now, there's just a big hole in the precip shield over the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos. That will likely keep the totals on the lower end of the ranges for those areas, but it is expected to fill back in. We've got light snow and sleet coming down over the city, Bucks County, Montgomery County, filling back in right now in Chester County as well. And what you see here, pockets of heavy snow over the mountains of central Pennsylvania, rotating back into those far north and west suburbs here over the next few hours. So a lot of moving parts with this system, as we know. It would have been nice if temps were in the 20s all across the region. It was just plain old snow, but it's 2020. Nothing's that easy. Temperatures are in the 50s, Wildwood and Georgetown. Contrast that with temps in the 20s in the Lehigh Valley, teens in Mount Pocono, and winds are howling as well. Gusts over 30, even 40 miles per hour right now with this storm rolling through. So sleet and light snow will continue around the city and nearby suburbs for the next couple of hours. We'll likely change back over to a period of snow, possibly at least a couple more inches of accumulation on top of the slushy mess that's out there already. And then by mid-morning tomorrow, this pulls out of here. Coming up, we'll run down the snow totals so far, and I'll tell you about the blast of cold that will follow this storm system. For now, Jessica, back over to you.
All right, Kate, thank you. More than a foot of snow is forecast to fall in Lehigh County before the storm is through tomorrow morning. Kimberly Davis is live in Allentown with a look at conditions there tonight. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Jess. Yes, and there is an emergency declaration still in effect here in Allentown. The roads are still snow covered, and there are surprisingly folks out here on the roadways, but not very many. And we spoke with some who decided to venture out. It's a winter wonderland in Allentown, just as long as you don't have to drive in it. And for folks who don't have four-wheel drive, this is how they drove through Lehigh County Wednesday night. We spoke with one driver in a pickup truck who watched the winter woes of other drivers.
Many cars is stuck and then it cannot go. And especially the cars is two-wheel drive, then many cars is stuck on the streets.
For those who didn't want to be stuck on the roadways, they ventured out on foot to capture nature's beauty.
This is basically just like exploring the new place and seeing what's going on there and just seeing what can be cool here.
There was a lot of beauty to take in Wednesday evening, but some of Allentown's youngest residents were more interested in the fun.
Oh, good job.
Now, thankfully, within the last half hour, we have seen a lot of city plow truck drivers come out here and try to work on these roadways. They're still pretty bad, to be completely honest with you. So if you don't have to be outside, of course, stay home. And if it is an emergency, make sure you have four-wheel drive or you're just asking for trouble. That's the very latest live in Allentown. I'm Kimberly Davis, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Kimberly, thank you. The storm has forced travel restrictions throughout the area. This is video from the PA Turnpike in King of Prussia earlier tonight. PennDOT reduced speed limits to 45 miles per hour on the Turnpike and other major highways in Pennsylvania. That includes I-95, the Schuylkill Expressway, and the Blue Route. Officials ask if you don't have to go out, please stay home. For those who do have to travel, please go slowly. Alicia Roberts is live tonight in Bensalem. Alicia, how are conditions tonight in Bucks County?
Jessica, snow, high winds, and freezing rain. Well, they have made for a very long winter day. Road crews were ready as the first flakes began falling around 1 in Northeast Philly.
Easy 12 hours, maybe even 14 hours.
Slowly, the snow began to stick to the grass below, something this part of Bucks County hasn't seen for quite some time. Pico crews braced for what could come, and by late afternoon, wet roads soon turned into snow-covered ones as several inches of snow started to pile up. While many heeded the warnings to stay home, others were eager to be out. After the sun set and the temperatures dipped, shovelers could see and hear the storm changing. Wet, heavy snow made the sidewalks slick as freezing rain pelted the CBS3 news van. Plows in tandem were working to clear the roadways as the few that were out were cautiously taking it slow. Well, that is, except for Gavin.
This one was the fastest one.
Speed was the name of his game today.
I love it because it hasn't snowed in like a long time. Probably because it's just like flat and it's just straight down. It's kind of dangerous, but it was still fun.
And while the calendar may not say winter, he's hoping today isn't the last for December.
I'm looking forward to waking up on Christmas with a bunch of snow.
And while we still can't say for sure if Christmas will be a white one this year, at least for tomorrow morning, if you have to be out early, you're definitely going to want to plan for some extra time. Live in Bensalem, Alicia Roberts, CBS3 Eyewitness News. Jessica.
All right, Alicia, thanks so much. In Chester County, the snow piled up early. Eyewitness News along Route 30 in Paoli earlier this evening. PennDOT plows were busy trying to keep up with the falling snow there. Definitely a slow go for anyone who was traveling. The storm is also leaving its mark on Philadelphia and South Jersey. Some are seeing snow, rain, and everything in between. Alicia Reed is live in Cherry Hill with the latest on conditions there. Hi, Alicia.
Good evening, Jess. This storm has brought happiness and excitement. However, on the other hand, it is also causing some grief. As the steady downpour continues,
it's definitely slippery out here.
Plow trucks in Cherry Hill are working to keep parking lots and streets clear.
Early on the way here, I almost hit a car, but you know, you got to work your way out of it.
All this precipitation means a well-needed paycheck for some.
With all the COVID stuff going on, so it's nice to be out and working outside and getting some air and all that.
While the city works on safety, children at Clark Park in West Philly have been making the best of the first snow day they've seen in years.
Really fun by going down like the hill, and it was amazing. It was steep enough that you could kind of slide down on your own.
Whether creating snow angels, building a snowman, or surviving a snowball fight,
it's right on time. Kids need to get out and have some fun, especially after the year that they've had.
It's awesome. I mean, this seems pretty COVID safe.
After all, regardless of how it looks, it's never too cold to play in the snow.
I'm not that cold.
In North Philly, people were out and about, bundled up and running errands. Roads are messy. Commuters are being advised to take public transportation instead of driving.
It's definitely not safe to drive in.
Now, it is still quite slippery out here, so if you do decide to drive, make sure you are extremely careful. Now, over in Philadelphia, trolleys and trains will be running overnight underground. Reporting live from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, Alicia Reed, CBS3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Alicia, thank you. If you have to head out the door early tomorrow, be sure to wake up with the Eyewitness News This Morning team. Meteorologist Larissa Abreu will have the very latest on snow totals and the storm's track. The news starts bright and early at 4:30 a.m. And it's not just our region. The entire Northeast is getting walloped by a major winter storm that is packing snow, ice, rain, wind, you name it. Our team of meteorologists continue to track the storm, the snow totals so far, and when it will all clear out. We are several hours into the first major snowstorm to hit our region in quite some time. A live look now from Center City. Meteorologists Kate Bilo and Matt Peterson will have the latest on the storm's impacts, as well as what to expect once the storm moves on out. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Well, winter has come early to the Northeast. The snow bringing our area snow, ice, rain, also causing quite a mess in the New York City area. Heavy snow was falling this evening in Jersey City. The Big Apple could see upward of 10 inches of snow. Officials say it could be the biggest snowfall the city has seen in 3 years. Definitely the most snow that we have seen in a long time, but now in a lot of places that snow has changed to rain or a wintry mix. Meteorologist Kate Bilo has the latest on the storm's track. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Jessica. Yeah, it's a shame it was so beautiful earlier today when those big fat flakes were coming down, piled up very quickly, but temperatures just so marginal with this system. If it were in the teens and the 20s, we would have been looking at a lot of snow. But when you get that changeover, any sleet, any freezing rain is going to take any snow that falls and kind of compact it, make it look like more of a slushy mess out there. That's what we've been seeing in the city. In Bethlehem, it's been more straight snow. They're in a little bit of a lull. We have a dry slot we talked about at the top of the broadcast, which has caused a bit of a decrease in these precipitation rates, at least for now. Still a lot of snow on the ground. Reports of over 6 inches in much of the Lehigh Valley already. And as we take a look at Storm Scan 3, you can see that break, well, it's starting to fill back in a little bit. Let's zoom in. You can see still kind of an icy, slushy mess with sleet and freezing rain around the city, leading to hazardous travel conditions for tomorrow morning's commute. Still a bit of a hole up here over the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos, but again, starting to fill in on the back edge as wraparound moisture moves in on the back edge of this storm. It is cold and it is going to snow more before this is said and done, possibly another 3 or 4 inches in the Poconos and possibly another 2 or 3 inches in the Lehigh Valley as well. Let's talk about how much snow has already fallen, though, before we get into our future weather forecast. For that, I'll turn it over to meteorologist Matt Peterson. Hey, Matt.
Yeah, hey there, Kate. It has been a very active day. You were just talking about how we're getting a little bit of that dry sliding, a little bit of that drying out across parts of the atmosphere, but it was not the case earlier. You're talking to about those big fat flakes that came across the region, and this is what they dropped across much of the area. East in Pennsylvania, already up to 9 inches of snow. Quakertown, around 8 inches earlier this afternoon. You see Lehighton at 7.8. Cherry Hill, New Jersey, just about 6.5, and Princeton there, just shy of 6.5 inches of snow as well. Also in Upper Buck County towards the Lehigh County border there, Coopersburg came in at 9 inches of snow. Philly, 5.7, the first time we've had snow that's been that high, at least in a snow amount that's been that high since March of 2018. We did mix in a little bit of freezing rain as well. Most of that fell across northern Delaware, so causing some slick roadways there. Overall, Kate, this is going to be a system that we're going to, like you said, maybe see a little bit added to with that kind of late moisture that we're seeing rapid now. But could you imagine if this was January or February, some of the totals we would have seen?
Oh, my gosh. There was just so much moisture for this storm to work with, Matt. We would have been talking feet even in the city. Who knows? We've got plenty of winter left to go. This is just the first one. Thanks so much, Matt. And you know, it's not even winter anyway yet until Monday, as Matt was talking about the freezing rain. Look at this, over 1/4 inch in Newcastle and about 1/10 inch in Philadelphia. That kind of ice accretion can lead to down branches. It can also lead to some very slick roads, so play it safe. Still through midnight, that break in the action continues, just some light snow. It will likely pick back up. Probably not much more accumulation in the city proper, but we will see likely a few more inches north and west. Snow will taper off tomorrow morning between about 4 and 7 a.m. It gradually starts to taper off. This is 6 a.m. Still some snow hanging out in the Poconos, the Lehigh Valley, North Jersey, but we're starting to see the back edge of it. Tomorrow afternoon, the sun will likely peek through the clouds. And then tomorrow night into Friday morning, temperatures in the teens and low 20s. Winds have been strong all evening, and overnight they will continue to be strong. They will eventually start to veer. We'll start to see these winds shift as the storm moves away. But tomorrow, 6:15 a.m., gusts still to 45 miles per hour. That will be blowing some of that snow around. Our high wind warning continues down the shore until 1 a.m. And there is a coastal flood warning for many of our shore communities that goes right into tomorrow afternoon. Behind the storm, bitter cold is on the way. A big Arctic high slides in, highs only in the 30s through Saturday. And Saturday morning will be the coldest start. It is going to be in the teens with feels like temperatures, wind chills near zero. A brutal start to the weekend. but it gets better Sunday. Winter begins on Monday with a warm-up back to the mid-40s Monday and Tuesday, and 50 by Wednesday. So it doesn't look like much of this snow is going to stick around for Christmas next week, Jessica, unless maybe you're in the Poconos or far north where a little bit may still be on the ground. We'll send it back to you. It's time for your weekend watch. The storm will be gone, but the bitterly cold air will still be in place. In fact, Saturday morning, some dangerous cold in spots with wind chills near 0. The afternoon gets a little bit better with some sunshine, and then Sunday's not as harsh. The final day of autumn, actually, on Sunday, temperatures back to the mid-40s.
Coming up next, it's a late show with Stephen Colbert, followed by the Late Late Show with James Corden. Our morning team is back tomorrow starting at 4:30 with the very latest on this storm. For everyone here, I'm Jessica Cartalia. We are now streaming all day long on CBSPhilly.com. And for those of you watching on CBSN Philly, we'll continue with local news shortly. Thanks for watching. Please be safe and bundle up, and we'll see you tomorrow.